So welcome to Better Yourself Podcast, your boy Frank Christ. And today I have Joanna. I say your name right this time, right?
That's fine.
And yes, she's actually, I don't know how to describe her. She's actually a financial advisor and financial educator as well. And she actually help people with the credit, if you struggle with credit, if you want to have like a better, financial, life, she's the right person to actually, be in touch with. And today we're going to talk good overcoming the loss. That's the topic today because she just released a new book actually with other people as well. They put it together. So we're just going to focus on, what she was talking about. So before we start, I know some people know you, but some people doesn't know you. Just introduce yourself and let us know who you are. Let's get it.
All right. Hey, everyone. First, I want to say thank you, Phone Christ, for letting me come back. It was amazing. As he said, I'm a financial educator. I try to educate people within the financial industry.
Yeah. So overcoming the loss, that's the paragraph that you actually been focus on.
Right.
So what do you describe by that? Like when you talk about loss, are you trying to talk about loss like in all aspect of life? That's what you talk about. Like, you lose a business, are you trying to come back to it, or where was your focus?
Yeah, so my focus was, I talked about a little bit about mine because I start off saying that I know that 2020 was one of the difficult years for everyone. Yeah. It was a financial loss, could have been a mental health loss, it could have been, a business loss, like you couldn't run it, you had to close it down. It was just all around anything, especially I know the mental health section, from what I noticed, hit a lot of people. And that's a loss because I always try to tell people, you yourself are your number one priority, and you want to keep your health and you yourself your number one.
So yeah, but what do you think you should, like, overcoming loss is like you have to accept first that you lose, and you have to accept the fact you're actually able to actually do it. So
that's right.
So how do you actually, because I know you are more like into like a financial part. So is he like targeting the financial part also? Because I see the way things work in the stock market sometimes is crazy, man. People losing money. Sometimes you made a mistake. When I first started, I was way too excited to invest some money. And now some of the stock I've done is good, but some of them is actually on the red. And I feel like I don't even see it anymore. I just leave it there till, after time I'm hope like things gonna go to green. So but it's not easy, especially for people that just put the money that you actually, mortgage money or, like your wedding money, you feel like it's going to multiply. You know what I mean?
So like with me, I was telling in my section of the book, basically I was saying that I took a loss, and it was more a case of financial because the people that I talked to, it wasn't just one person, it was numerous people that took a financial loss. And what I wanted to go over and say, hey, you're not the only one who took a loss. And I threw in like some suggestions that people could do. Maybe, yes, you took a loss. Let's look at an opportunity, say a quick prayer, take you a couple dollars, put it to the side, and just learn from that opportunity or learn from that loss. Because money and mental health probably go together, and your financial loss is probably a big one. Like you just said, about 2 or 3 years ago, when I first got into business, I was like just throwing money to everything, advertising, marketing, ads. So yes, and then when 2020 hit, oh man, it just knocked a lot of the people with worldwide out when it came to money. So most of the suggestion I did was first just sit back and breathe and just say, hey, okay, I took this loss. Let me go back and go over my numbers. Let me see what I could do to kind of, level back up to regroup myself, and let's go back at it again. Don't never look at it as a negative, because that's where all of a sudden you're going to be in that dark place. Look at it as, okay, I took a loss. I'm a champ. I'm going to come back bigger.
Yeah, but I think you have to know your worth as well. And then I believe in that because like now, even when you lose something, if you know your worth, if you know like if you learn from actually the loss, it's not really gonna be a loss anymore. It's gonna be more like, you know what? Yeah, I've lost it, but I'm just gonna try better next time. So
that's right.
On your book, what did you break it down in your book? Like,
so some of the things that I said, look, I said this is I listen to different motivational speakers. So sometimes you go to YouTube, you can listen to some motivational speakers like Les Brown or Trent Shelton. You can listen to like calming, soothing music. If you go to YouTube and just type in calming music, and it's free, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like you got to spend money on some of this. Most of everything on social media is free now. Unless you're doing like advertisement. But as far as just if you took the loss and you're looking for some free ways that you can kind of sit back and rethink and regroup yourself, that's what I did. I also suggested those things work for me. It's a lot of free things on the internet. Sometimes just sitting back and thinking about your life. That was another thing I said. Just, hey, just like you mentioned, your worth. Sit back, think about your life. What was your dream? Yeah. Okay, within a year or two, yeah, we took a loss in 2020, but now what can we do in 2021 to regroup? And another thing, I also gave like feedback when somebody asked me for like, hey, well, what do you think about this idea? Or what do you think about this? I provided feedback, but I also reached out to other people that took losses and asked for their feedback. So those are some of the things I talked about in my section of the book, where it's basically giving you ideas and you're not spending money for it.
Yeah. So like, okay, for somebody like today, because there's a lot of loss, like especially during this pandemic,
right.
A lot of people actually lost the job, and yep. People have like a redundancy and everything. So do you think like mentally you have to change, or because a lot of people like they just can't?
Right. Well, I think it is a mental thing. First, you need to sit back. Yes, you got to look at your numbers and see what you lost first. I mean, that's just, common sense. We know that. But you can't like sit here and dawn on, like you can't let it worry you, because that'll mess up your mentality. When they say on the news that statistics of the percentage of mental health went up, that went on a rise around the pandemic, because people was relying on the government, relying on those jobs, and those people just like let you go. Why you think over 25 million just within the US was on unemployment? Because people was focused on this job, this is my 40 hours, and this is what I'm going to do. Right. Well, if you've been on that job for 20 years, of course.
Yeah.
But I always try to tell people, never make that your number one source of income. Because if you don't have a plan B or C, then yes, you will be in that place, and your mentality, you're going to be like, man, I just can't do it. But you're going to have to come out of it. You're not believe me, everybody is not the only one who took a loss. I'm a human. You're a human. Everybody took a loss some type of way. I don't care if it was money, a car, house, or whatever, or a business. Everybody took some sort of loss. And all you got to do is say, you know what? Like you said, I know I'm worth this. I'm going to pick up. Even if you got to start a whole new business, find something like dirt cheap or free. Go do something and start it and make that your plan B.
That's right. I think that's what you say is really good, because sometimes people take things so personal. You lose a job, the pandemic is going on, everybody's losing the job. If you take things personal, it's actually going to hurt you more. You're going to be more just like, instead of spending that energy trying to focus on like crying around or whatever, just trying to find your strength. And before I have another guest, we were talking about the way people actually rely on the job, because you were saying like, when you lose your job, you feel like you lost the world, because that's the only thing actually that matters for you. So this is why maybe we need like a passive income as well. Do you think?
Right.
When you
go
ahead.
Anytime of passive income, residual income, like there's a lot of sorts of residual and passive income that you can get into. And like I tell everybody when I go on other podcasts and do my lives, I never tell you to quit your job. I always tell you to make sure you keep your job, pay your bills with your job, but use your business and make sure that that's going to help with your freedom. Because eventually that business can fund your life. But you got to stay consistent. You got to network, like talk to different people. Don't just stay. Why you think the internet has just grew so extraordinary within the last year? Because when we sat on quarantine, everybody was reaching out. Like you're in UK, I'm in the States. We're reaching out to everybody. So don't just sit back and think, oh, this job. This is why a lot of people mentality, and they took that great loss because they relied on that job, just like your last client said. Your last guest. Don't just keep relying on that, because the government doesn't care. They're millionaires already. We're trying to get to where they are, so we don't have to worry about those stimulus and the unemployment. We want to create our own passive income so we can have our own stimulus money.
Damn, you always have that fire energy, man. God, feel like jumping right now. I mean, what you're saying is so true, because I hope people are going to learn from all this currency, because now people are losing their job, people are not. But do you think as much as you, even if you have like you secure a good job, do you think you should still have that, that like, I'm not going to call it side hustle, but like that passive income on the side?
Right.
But people always
ask you do. I don't care if you've been on your job for 30 years. You know what I'm saying? Because if you notice, that job was your life. So you might have been making 80 to 100,000 a year. But when you get on retirement, you're not going to have 80 to 100,000 a year. You're going to have a certain small amount of income that you put to the side, like every year from when you was working on that job. So yes, if you start a passive income before you retire, within a year or two, you'll have extra income plus your retirement.
Can you give one example? Because people always get confused. Oh yeah, you guys always talk about passive income, but like, what kind of passive income can you do?
Like with me, like I said, I do insurance. Insurance give you residual income if you write certain policies and if you get into the investment forms, or the investment side of insurance. Also, if you do credit repair, there's a lot of people out there getting passive income just on helping people repair their credit.
How?
There's so many different types of companies. So, for example, let's do life insurance. I'm a licensed life insurance agent for South Carolina and North Carolina. If I write policies if a person pays their policy within a 6 months to a year, that's money I'm gonna start getting like within the second month that after I write the policy. So they're gonna vet you first, your commission. Yeah. Within a month or two, if that person start paying within a quarter or semi-quarter or 6 month period, you're going to start within the third month, you're going to start getting that little bit of monthly income. And that could be off of one policy. So if I'm licensed in 2 different states and there's millions of people, I can write policies and get passive income and still work a W-2 job and still have that extra income. And I can put that to the side. And like we talked about yesterday, go put it in a stock or, Robinhood is free. I tell everybody this all the time. If you don't have a lot of money and you took that loss, go to Robinhood. You can invest as low as $1 with them. Imagine if you keep increasing it. Okay, I'm gonna start $1 today. Maybe next month I'll do $2, $3. Do you know that stuff would actually grow within a couple of years?
Yeah, I think that's what I realized as well. Because like the funny thing is, like when I see my bank account right now, what I've been putting on my investment account, I've been putting money like consistently. And then for the last 2 months, I didn't have enough money because I have a lot of things to do.
Right.
But the fact I invest that money, I don't touch it.
There you go.
Because for me, like I want it to grow, and the one is not growing is in the red. I just keep it there on the red till we actually grow. And the funny thing is, when I go back there, I see my account. When I add up everything, I'm like, man, I saved some money.
Yeah,
that's the good thing about it. You'd be surprised like how much money we save. And I said to myself, if I didn't open that investment account, that money was not going to exist even on my current account.
So with Robinhood, I think I gained within $30 within Robinhood within a year. I took that 30 and put it in some more stock.
Yeah.
Do you know if I keep doing that within a certain amount, 5 to 10 years, and if I don't do no more investment, I just keep what I got, that money will grow. It's not going to grow overnight, but the thing about it, within a year, you could get an extra $50. Don't touch it, like you said.
Yeah.
That's like free money because you're literally building interest off those stocks that you just invested in.
That's right. And then that's the funny thing about it, because I'm sure if I haven't invested money, it's not like it was gonna be in my account. It was not gonna be in my account. I was gonna use it maybe buying Jordans. So I think that's what I was gonna do. So going back to the subject as well, like how to make the how to win out of your losses, something like that, right?
Right, so, overcoming the loss.
How to overcome actually your loss. So I think is actually, can you actually prevent it?
Well, you can't prevent a lot because you got a lot of unforeseen occurrences. Like you said before, the stock markets might end up crashing. We don't know when that could happen. So some things you just can't avoid. But the thing about it, why don't you prepare for the loss? So a lot of people might be like, well, what do you mean prepare for a loss? Well, we know a loss could happen. Let's take the stock market, for example. We know that it can crash real estate. It can crash people not getting a lot of houses, people not investing in the stock market. Well, if you put maybe $2 to $3 aside in a savings account that you're not going to touch, do you know you're actually preparing yourself to win?
Yeah.
You don't have to take $100 all the time. You can start as small as $2 to $3, put it into a savings account, and don't touch it and just let it grow and just keep adding maybe $5 or $10 here and there. And within a year, you probably saved over a couple $100.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's very true, actually.
So I look at it, if you're going to try to overcome it, because we can't overcome everything.
Yeah.
Because things happen and we're all imperfect. So the things like the stock markets are imperfect. We can't predict. But what we can control is how we try to overcome it. So if we're going to overcome it, let's prepare for it. Because if you always prepared, you ever heard of the saying that people plan to fail, but they fail to plan? It's not because you're not planning. Like I said, all you need is probably a $2 to $3. Put it to the side. You're preparing yourself for a win, and that way you're overcoming the loss.
Good. How people will actually gonna remember that. So if anybody actually want to know much about this, you can actually go in touch with Juanna as well. And then they released like a new book called Finding Joy in the Journey. So why do you guys choose that title?
Well, that title was, like you said, if you're going to overcome a loss, right, you got to find the joy in your journey to prepare for it, right?
Yeah.
Regardless of any kind of darkness or sadness or depression or anything, even when you take a big financial loss, you want to always try to find joy in your personal journey, because you yourself is your own priority, and that's your circle you can control. We can't control how the stock markets go. We can't control if people are going to, join our business. We can't control that, but we can control how we find joy in our own journey and how we can keep happiness in our own circle, and by overcoming that loss.
Wow. I think you have to be passionate about what you're actually doing for, for the journey to be joyful.
But you don't, like you mentioned, you don't want to work at a job and you don't like it. So you're going to quit the job and find something you like. That's another thing. We as humans, we are joyful people. We're called humankind for a reason. Well, we're supposed to be kind and joyful, but because of there's outside things that basically make us feel down, that's how we can overcome things. We try to find joy or positiveness in anything that we do. We don't have no control over other people. One thing that a mindset coach told me was, what somebody think of you is not your business, because that's their thoughts. They're not yours.
Yeah. That's really good. I mean, like the book that you made, how many of you guys actually released that book? Like made a book?
90.
Damn, 90? Really?
Yeah, 90 people. So that's why it's called a 90-day devotional.
Wow. So how many paragraphs? I think you guys have you have your own paragraph.
It's probably it's 90, man. It's 90 of us. So man, it's probably a 200-page or more book, maybe.
Man, the promo must be crazy, because 90 people.
It's about, man, about maybe 2,000.
So what was the goal behind? You guys wanted to help people to overcome the loss based on
and find joy in their own journey. Yeah, we wanted to basically be inspirational to everyone, men, and we got men and women on this collaboration. It ain't just females, it's men and women, because from a man point, say, well, when we bring in the men need to talk to the men like, hey, bro, ain't no need to sit here and feel down. Let's find some joy in our journey. Let's make us a joyous journey, and let's see if we can overcome this loss. Yeah.
But you think finding joy in the journey, for somebody you actually struggle with work, you have because some people, they just live like a simple life. You go to job, come back home. You don't want to try to change the world or change people's life. You know what I mean?
Right. You got people who just want to sit back and chill, but that's their joy. They don't have to be heroes. They actually got control of their circle. They make sure they know their own priorities, and they're not going to invade nobody else's privacy. They're keeping their circle quiet, and they're going to work and handling their business and not being a bother to no one. That could be a joy in itself.
I think for what I can remember for what you're saying is, you have to know, first of all, you have to know what you want in life.
Right.
You have to work for something. You always have to prevent a backup plan in case if things doesn't work. Right. And you have to acknowledge the fact when thing doesn't work, you don't have to take it as a negative, or you don't have to take it personal. You have to take it as something to learn, and then actually, trying to work better for.
Exactly. I think that's all you got to do. If you sit back and tell yourself what you just said, I'm not going to worry about what the outside do, but I'm going to worry about how I can find my joy in my own journey and how I can overcome the loss that I just experienced. Because everybody else got a loss of their own. Nobody can be everybody's hero. So you be your own hero.
That's right. Because I see, but you are focused a lot on people buying houses and the credit. Why is it that?
Well, first, the housing market has been moving slow. I actually had a collaboration with a realtor yesterday, and the conversation was like this: look, the housing market is down, and a lot of people, either the credit ain't right. I said, yeah, but you got to look at it like this. You got knowledge. The person has his own podcast, and I told the person, you understand about real estate investing, real estate, flipping houses, the real estate market. Even though it's moving slow, you can still provide knowledge to the community. And I could collaborate you and say, hey, if you got a 580 credit score, get you an FHA loan, get you a 3 to 5% down payment on toward the house that you want. Because we know those people are trying their best to have an asset instead of making a liability.
A lot of people talking about it, like investing in the property. I don't know how it works. Do you have to?
Well, that's why I was collaborating with the gentleman yesterday. But the company I'm with, MWR Financial, we have experts that help you get into real estate flipping and investing. We actually guide you and show you the ways and the tricks on how to get it so you don't take that big loss.
There's a lot of money. There's a lot of money to start with, right?
Like I partner with different companies so I can understand the market. Real estate really is not a big thing to me. Like I said, more likely with me is your credit, your insurance, and taxes. But I collaborate with realtors because I can help them help their customers with their credit.
Oh, I see. Because I heard about people talk about it a lot. Like, you to
invest in it. I've heard a lot of conversations about, and me and the gentleman, I think we was on the phone for like 30 minutes. Me and him is going to collaborate on his podcast, and we're going to bring the financial education. We're just going to level up a notch.
Yeah, that's really something I really want to get. I think I need to get in touch with you too, to much like deeper about the the whole real estate investment, because I have no clue how it is. I don't know if you have to buy the house. I don't know if you have to buy half of the house. I don't even know how it is. I don't know if it works the same way as when you buy stocks, or I have no clue.
But see, like they say, you can put different houses under contract. What I was collaborating with him about was,
but do you have to own a house?
Work?
Right. Do you have to own a house?
Well, no, you don't have to own it. From what he was telling me yesterday, you can get a contract, but you want to make sure you're partnered up with a realtor because they have the ins and outs. So you just don't want to go out there like blinded, because you will get a loss. Remember, if you're coming out with about $10,000, that's a lot of money to be losing. So if I'm going to do that, I'm going to partner with any different type of realtors so I can get the knowledge to make sure if I'm going to do a contract, I'm doing it the right way. So, because real estate is not my cup of tea at all, but I know 2 realtors that I collaborate with to get the information from them because they've been doing it for so long. So this is what I tell everyone: do your research, network, and be consistent and ask your questions. Because if they're a realtor, more likely they will have a lot of knowledge, and you can hear it the way they talk. And me and the gentleman, like I said, he invited me to his podcast, and we're going to get some things together. We're going to just take the financial education, we're going to level it up, because he's going to come up with the real estate section, and I'm coming up with the credit repair and the saving portion, and we're just going to show people how it is possible to make it work. Just make sure you're with the right expert.
That's true. I see everybody online now when they talk about like financial advice, like financial help. They always say, "I'm not your financial advisor." So, do you actually say the same thing, or you actually embrace it? Like,
well, I don't. Sometimes
so you are not theirs, but you are in terms.
Well, yeah, I'm like a coach, so I try to educate you. I tell people I'm not a salesperson. I'm more of an educator, because I'm not going to charge you for every little bit of sentence that I give you as far as information. So I embrace everything. When I want to know something, I'm going to reach out.
Oh, okay. So Heisey, so when you talk about the community, I know like your goal is always that you're trying to educate people about, the credit, mortgage, and everything. Do you think like today, like especially Black people, because I know like we're the one actually suffer the most when it comes to those things. Right. Do you think we are starting to wake up in that sense, like the knowledge about credit and, watching your money and everything, like, do you think it started to change a little bit?
Seen probably within the past year since the pandemic, within the Black community, a lot of people are starting to wake up. Now, I was like, oh, I had people reach out to me. They was like, hey, I be seeing you on your post. They was like, what did you do and how you doing? I be like, hey man, let's jump on a call or a Zoom. I'd be like, wow, but that's the thing. I want that to happen. When I go live, I want people to reach out and say, hey, I just seen you, man. Can I ask you a question? Sure. I'm not going to charge you to ask me a question. I've heard there's some people out there doing it, but I don't think that's right because the build respect and trust that costs way more than any dollar in your pocket. Because if someone trusts you and respect you, you eventually they're going to be your client.
Yeah. That's right.
So I'm just happy that everybody is starting to embrace it because you got like your Grant Cardones, your Kardashians. See, they're already millionaires. I want everybody to get to where they are, at least halfway there.
Yeah. I think the good thing about it is like even artists right now, they don't focus too much on buying big cars and everything. They are focused more like buy houses, buy land, investing on this. I think the mentality start changing because people want to be rich, but like they realize like to be rich is actually to have something that actually make you money, not just you buying expensive stuff. Like, you know, you're going to have a bunch of things and it's not going to, you know, you're just going to destroy them.
I'm glad you said that. Did you see the news where Rihanna just became the youngest billionaire?
Yeah.
So listen, she has stocks, she's invested. She even took $1 million. I think she's from Trinidad or something, but she gave money to the people from where she's from because she wanted to build the economy. Do you know that that's coming back to her like tenfold? She's only 33 years old. She's a beautiful artist and she made better financial moves. You don't never, I mean, I'm sure she got a nice house in a car, but when you see Rihanna, you don't see her riding all the time, all these houses. You see her either makeup, cover girl, modeling, clothes. She's trying to make sure that she stayed in that billionaire setting. I mean, she just got announced yesterday. That was the biggest thing. And just like you said, a lot of the artists are trying to say, hey, wait a minute. If I'm going to have 70,000 and I need that passive income, what can I do to keep having passive income?
That's right.
Invest it, get you a house, like you said, get you some land, never depreciates. So land probably will give you more money than anything.
Yeah, I think the good thing about Rihanna as well, when you check, I'm surprised because she's an artist, but she's not really focused too much on the music.
Right.
The last time she had an album, like full album, I don't know, maybe it was like 5 years ago or something.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I wonder, like, how the hell did she get all that money? Because I think she's moving. Yeah, like it's weird. Like I see, okay, the makeup things, but she's very smart. She's moving like Jay-Z now. And then she might catch up.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Everybody like Grant Cardone, I don't know if everybody's seen his videos on YouTube, but his assets is worth billion. Now that doesn't mean he has that liquid in cash, but he owns real estate. He owns hotels. He owns buildings. He even tell you in a lot of his videos, he wants people to invest in real estate because that's how you get that passive income.
I really need to check it out. So what Rihanna
yeah, he's on YouTube. It's Grant Cardone on YouTube. Check out some of his videos. I looked at it.
Yeah. So what are you working on right now?
So I just threw out my clothing line, y'all. You know.
Oh yeah, saying? Your clothing line. Yeah, let's get it.
I want everybody's called Boss Lady, and
okay.
I got.
Let me see that again. How is it?
Oh.
Yeah. Boss Lady. Yeah.
Yep. And I have the men. It's going to be Boss Life. I got the copyright certificates. It took them a while. I've been working on this for about a year, y'all. So it finally came together. I got I got a young lady, 2 young ladies that actually print my shirts for me. They're out of New York.
Have you done in New York or have you done in China?
I'm sorry?
Have you done in New York, in the United States, or have you done in China?
In China? I'm in the United States. I'm not in China.
No, because you know what? Here in the UK, I'm working in some brand as well for fitness. You know, my own brand. I'm working on that.
Nice.
But the manufacturing in the UK here is so expensive, so we have to do everything in China. That's what I was asking.
Oh yeah, I was saying that. Yeah, they got like vendors in China that I think they charge a little cheaper when it comes to the clothing. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yo, for real, like in China, you're gonna save more money, but the problem is they have to send you the what do you call it? The sample. You have to check if it's right. If it's not right, send it back.
Oh,
and you know the sample. You know about the sample, how much it costs, right? It always costs a lot of money, man. God.
I got cups, coffee mugs, hoodies. I got these t-shirts. I got a few other people that I'm gonna become because they are larger sizes. So I'm gonna get them to print it out. And the price been a little bit was pretty reasonable. You know what I'm saying? Just for them printed quality shirts, it's amazing. Like I tell people, I research, I network, I stay consistent, I talk to people, I've been on different podcasts, people see me, I go live, I just don't fall back when I go live, I keep going. So That's my last project I'm working on. Getting this clothing line. I got somebody that's going to do a website for me right now. If anybody doing orders, it's going to be through Zelle or PayPal. Because PayPal, I just linked my PayPal to my Linktree website. So that way, if anybody want a shirt, you could just go to my Linktree and just request, or send a payment or request a payment, whatever. So I'm trying to keep it more on a business level. I don't do Cash App. It's so many scams on Cash App. I do not mess with Cash App. PayPal or Zelle. Zelle is bank-to-bank transfer. That's how me and the other young lady, my first customer, she's out of California. We did Zelle and I shipped it to her. I didn't even charge her shipping because she said she was gonna do it on her live. So she promoted it for me on her live.
So do you have like a copyright for that? You say boss lady.
Yeah, I got for these logos, I got 4 logos, different the way they set up. I got a copyright certificates. It took about a year, but because the pandemic slowed it down, I did get my certificates finally in 2021. So I'm happy with that. And when I got my certificates, I linked up with a couple people out of New York that did my printing. And that's why I was able to market and get my stuff on shirts. So I do own the logos, everybody. They're mine. I have copyright certificates. So
that's right. Because a lot of people, they do that, they don't really get covered. They do that, but they don't get certified for their logo. That's the thing I realized.
Well, I did that because I figured if I do it the legal way and then somebody try to take my sign, I could take them to court and show the courts that I own it. So I did it through the legal way. And I learned in the United States, if you go by the book, they can't really mess with you.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm sure that's everywhere, though.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I mean, it's right actually. So is it more like your brand? Is it like for people who are thinking about passive income? This is what we're talking about. Like now, she do a lot of things, but now she's actually investing on clothesline as well. So this is another way to make money as well. Yeah. Are you doing the designing thing, or you just like it's more like just the logo on the t-shirt?
Well, I did the logos. I got them on coffee mugs. I'm gonna be doing it on hats. I'm gonna expand it. So the logos I own, we can rearrange the logos however I want because I got 4 different styles of them. So I submitted all of that, and the reason I did that because if you're gonna do some type of merch, you need like more options. You can't just do one logo. So I did 4 different
that's
logos.
what I realized. I've been struggling with that. That's a good thing that you tell me because I've done my own brand already. We done the logo,
right.
But my business partner called me the other day. Is like, oh, you know what? I think I don't like this logo. I prefer this one, but we like both.
See, right?
I think we can keep both and use one for certain type and the other one for certain type, as long as the name still, yours and you are.
I started this clothing line working on it in February 2020. I went on and submitted all my copyrights, paid the application fees, and did all. I just waited. Before I know, I was like, wait a minute, I still didn't get my certificates, and it's been a year. She said, well, we sent them back in November 2020. I said, I never got them. She resent them, and I got them January 2021. And I told the lady, thank you. So I got all 4. And the reason, like I was telling you before, you want more options. If you're going to do your brand, go ahead and market, which is fine. I just did it a different way. I did the legal portion first, and then I marketed my brand. That's the way I did it. Everybody don't have to do it like that because I see people market first and then do it. But the reason I did it first because someone told me that they had something, they didn't copyright it, and somebody took it. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna learn from their mistakes because we don't have to make all the mistakes, y'all. So that's what I did. The person told me what happened to him. I said, well, I'm gonna do it different. I'm not gonna market first. So what I did was I did the paperwork first, and then a year later, I'm marketing it and branding it.
Man, you are everywhere, man. That's what I like about you. You have a lot of energy. You are everywhere. And thank you for having today. So there's anything else you want to add that we haven't been through? Anything you want to talk about? Anything you want people to know?
The only thing everybody likes, I got my YouTube channel. It's J Council 1996. I just now got 130 subscribers. Y'all want to subscribe to my channel? I got different videos and me talking about different financial stuff. Go check it out. I'm adding videos all the time. So hopefully you'll see new videos every other day on my YouTube channel. And I just want everybody to just stay positive. Like I said, I know that this pandemic hopefully is almost toward the end, and then we all can keep going and try to get that passive income, like Phone Price was saying. Let's get that passive income, y'all. Let's not keep relying on the government, because the government don't care.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that we need to remember from this pandemic is to make sure you have a passive income, to have a
Right.
plan B. Don't just rely on your job that you have, your permanent job that you have, you think like
Right.
it's secure. There's nothing is secure because your boss might wake up tomorrow and say, you know what, I'm done. I was working in the airport. You know what? We receive a letter with like the company say, look, you know, we can't carry on no more because there's no flight, there's no
Right.
this. We're gonna have to close down, and we're gonna
Right.
have to be, we're gonna put you guys in redundancy. Guess what? I have people that was working in my company for like 20, 30 years. When they
Oh,
heard
wow.
30 years, when they heard redundancy, oh, they were smiling. Be like, oh, I'm gonna get that check. And guess what?
Right.
What happened is another company came and then bought the company
Right.
again.
That's
And
what
guess
happened
what? They
here in
say
the States.
you guys not gonna get no redundancy pay. You're just gonna transfer to another one, and people just feel some
Exactly.
type of way. So
That's what
sometimes in
happened
life
here in the States.
really happen as
They
well, right?
it was, I think it was American Airlines
Yeah.
and United Airways. They weren't getting a lot of flights because you know that they shut the states there and
Yeah.
throughout different countries. So flights wasn't going. So they laid a lot of people off. It was on the news, and just like the guy said, yeah, I was able to get unemployment, but the way the government talking about, they want to shut it down.
Yeah.
So they shut off unemployment, and guess what? Now people is in a stuck situation again. They go that financial loss when everybody should have been thinking about, like you mentioned earlier, that passive income.
Yes. So financial loss and is actually something that we need to deal with. Anything else you want to say about financial loss, just to trying to put together about your resume?
Well, basically, just to sum it up, everybody, if you have a financial loss, just sit back, look at some of the free options that's out there. Like I mentioned before, Robinhood is free to set up. You can go as low as $1 to invest. Start today. Start something. Even if it's $1, start today. Look at, just keep in mind of what happened in 2020 and just remember that. Say, you know what? I'm not going to rely on the government. I'm going to start this. I'm going to start that. Get your insurance policy. Get your credit fixed so you don't have to rely on the government. You want to rely on yourself.
Yo, I want to say amen, but you know, in church. Oh man, thanks for having you today, and I really appreciate it. And again, I'm gonna have you next time. We're gonna talk about the real estate because I feel like this is something that people really want to know. We need to go deeper, and if you have your friend, we can actually set it up as well. We can't even do the live.
Yeah, okay.
We can do the live. Yeah, I think we should do that to the live. I mean, you are so used to the live. Not that, I don't know. I need to get out of my comfort zone to start doing more live as well.
You got to get out of the comfort zone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna collaborate with him in 2 weeks. His podcast is on Anchor like yours. So
great.
He said we're going to come up with some questions on how we're going to talk about this, how we're going to collab. But yeah, we definitely can do a 3-way collaboration.
Yes, I'm happy for that.
Real estate. Yeah,
I'm happy for that. It's something that I think it's good to talk about something that's going to help the community, you know, like
exactly.
There's a lot of question and people, it's one of those things like only rich people knew, and then people that have money, they knew because you have to pay a lot to have those kind of information. But today, you know, to help the community be giving all those information, at the end of the day, if people are informed, and if you have a business, they're going to be willing to work with you. And then, of course, you're going to make money. I think that's the key.
Exactly.
Right. Anyway, so thanks for having you today. For anybody want to get in touch with Juanna, you can actually, I'm going to put all the information on the link. If you want to buy her brand, like a closed line as well, you can actually, I'm going to put the link as well where you guys can go and purchase it. And don't forget to purchase her book as well. It's still #1 or you moved? He was number one. It was #1. The book.
Yeah. It's #1 on bestseller Amazon. They go to Amazon.com. You can do the Kindle version. It's $1.99 Kindle, and the paperback I think is like 20 or 21 bucks. So yeah, they go to Amazon and check it out. Great. All right, thank you again, and you have a nice time. You do the same. Thank you. Just stay one.